Hope we are well, fit, healthy, and staying safe. So I'm going to talk about MyFitnessPal today and the sort of like challenges and struggles around using it, because it's not easy, but it's not difficult too. It just like anything, it takes a bit of practice, and the more we do it, the better we get. So the reason I'm talking about MyFitnessPal is because I've been asked by someone in the group, Jade wants to know a few things, and I just thought what I'll do is I'll just cover as much as I know, give you my insights, and cover what I think is sort of like the top 10 things that are difficult or mistakes people make when using MyFitnessPal. So yeah, so MyFitnessPal, I believe in it. There's a few reasons why I believe in it. Firstly, it means that nothing's ruled out. So any food is on the table. You don't have to exclude anything as long as it's within your calories. So that's something that I think is very good. My clients like that as well. There's no foods excluded. If it's within your calories, you can eat it. So I think that's a very good thing. Second thing is you just learn a lot. Just by tracking stuff, you learn a lot about carbohydrates, fats, proteins. You learn what stuff's high in carbs, what stuff's high in fat, what stuff's high in protein. You also just learn what amount of calories are in certain foods. So I think educationally wise and learning, I think it's an awesome tool. Okay. The other thing as well, and I think this can happen as well sometimes, is good enough is good enough. So for example, I know some people get a bit frustrated, for example, if they've gone out for dinner and it's not got exactly that thing on the menu. If you can just get close to it as you can. So I don't know, let's imagine you've gone to Pizza Express and it's not quite on the menu what you're having, lasagna. Just pick one from somewhere else, okay? So good enough is good enough. If you can track as much as you can, it's definitely going to be helpful going forward. And then also what I like as well, personally, I've been tracking my food for the last 21 days and I've been pretty good actually. I've been very accurate. I think I had like one day where I just tracked like half a day. I'm tracking mine because I want to make sure I'm hitting my protein intake. But if you're trying to lose weight, I can understand, I can really see how at the end of the day, when you have those amount of calories left, so let's imagine if I'm aiming for 2,000 and I know that I've hit 2,000 for that day and I'm in a calorie deficit of 500 calories, I'd feel really good about that, especially if I tracked things really accurately. I'd know for certain, I would know that I'm in a 500 calorie deficit, which I think is a really powerful thing. So many diets and things people try, they just don't know. They just don't know. And they get on the scales and it's, I hope I've lost weight this week. I think I've been good. Whereas if you can track accurately day after day, you come to that weigh in when you want to weigh in and track your progress. If you've been in a calorie deficit and you know for a fact, you know you've tracked really well every day, then the weight loss should be there. So I think the knowing fact is awesome for me. I really like that. I know now I'm tracking my protein. I know for certain I'm hitting 150 or 160 grams because I've been tracking really well. So I really like that. So that's sort of like the reasons why I believe in MyFitnessPal. Now we're just going to delve into some of the things that can be a struggle. And like I said at the beginning of this talk, it is a bit of a learning. We get better by doing. Okay. So number one, people often eyeball food, and that is not a good place to be because everyone's fist size is different. So if you're just thinking, oh, well, there's a fist size, I'll put this in, everyone's different. I might eyeball up, I don't know, let's think of something quite high in fat and calories, peanut butter. I might have that as, I don't know, 200 calories. Someone else might have it as 400 calories. So it's very difficult to eyeball and just guess what you're eating. Okay, number two, it's quite easy to miss things with MyFitnessPal. Common things are sauces, ketchup, mayonnaise, anything, dressings, oils. Lots of people miss putting oil in the pan. And then little things like milk in your teas and coffees. Now, they're not going to be massive, but maybe it's 20, 25 calories each time, 5, 6 teas a day, maybe, I don't know, maybe less, that's potentially 100, 150 calories a day, which is going to mount up towards the end of the week. This is a common one. And by the way, I've done all of these. I've done literally all of these. It's a learning. Not tracking before you eat. Now that is very dangerous, because imagine you've eaten all your food for the day, and then in the evening you're right, okay, I'm going to track my food now. It is very, very difficult to remember exactly what you've eaten. Also, imagine you get to the evening meal, you then track your food and you've only got 200 calories left. It's not going to be a very enjoyable meal, I can imagine. So if you track as you go, you know what you've got left. Not measuring, it kind of filters into the top one, sort of guessing or eyeballing your food. If you're not measuring, you don't know accurately what you are eating, how many calories. So I'd suggest just getting a little scales in your kitchen. It actually doesn't take that long, especially once you've done it a few times. Not tracking booze, hold my hands up, we've all been there. And calories in alcohol count, very empty calories, and that can be a real big difference. Bottle of wine a night, what, 550 to 700 calories? A lot of calories, so it has to be counted. Yeah, this is quite a common one too. So, you're cooking, you're a little bit hungry, you go to the fridge, get a little bit of ham, roll it up, that goes in the mouth, 50, 100 calories. We miss that because we're just mindlessly eating. We're not thinking about what we're eating. Get a little bit hungry again, maybe we go for a biscuit just whilst we're eating, that goes in. Stuff like that is just kind of like mindlessly eating. Okay, having a cup of tea, biscuit goes in, don't count it, we just miss it. That's what we call sort of like mindless eating. So it's very important that when we eat, we're mindful, we're just conscious of what we're eating. All right, next, 7, logging the wrong food. This happened to me a couple of days ago, actually. I scanned something and just something completely different come up, basically. I can't remember exactly what the food was. So that's just a case of just double checking and just making sure that it is the right food. So that's quite a simple one, really. That's just just double checking and make sure it's the right food. Number 8, again, of course, I'm guessing if we're using MyFitnessPal, we're probably looking to lose weight. So in our heads, we're thinking, right, what I need to do is have the lowest calorie option for every meal. And then I've got lots of calories to play with. The problem with lots of low calorie foods is they're not very calorie dense. So what that means is it just doesn't fill you for very long. So you can find yourself getting very hungry very quick. So what I would recommend is getting whole foods. Whole foods are going to keep you fuller for longer. So hopefully you don't feel so hungry. All right, we're getting through the list now. Where are I? Number 9, and this is very common. Just forgetting to update your new weight. So hopefully if you've been tracking well and you're starting to lose weight. It's very important that each week you update your weight, because as you get lighter, you need less calories just to move and sustain your normal life. So your calories should be adjusted each week, and they should start going down ever so slightly as you lose weight. And then last, number 10, tracking exercise. Now you can track exercise, and that will give you more calories to play with, and so you can eat more food. But if you're trying to lose weight, I would probably not recommend it. I would still look for a quite big calorie deficit, if you can have one. The other thing is sometimes, when you exercise and then you're thinking, right, I've got all these calories more now because I've exercised, it can be a bit detrimental, and then suddenly we eat a bit more. I mean, we can all look back at past experiences or speak to people who've gone to the gym, and because they're exercising so much, they actually eat more food than they would if they didn't go to the gym. And it's happened where people have started exercise and they've actually put on weight. So that can be quite a dangerous game sometimes. You actually eat more than you need. So I wouldn't actually track my exercise in MyFitnessPal. And just to finish up with that, because MyFitnessPal has been about a 10-minute talk now, it's important to cover these things. 2 more things I want to go over. When you are deciding how much weight you want to lose, because it will ask you for your goal, if you put in 2 pounds a week, it's going to give you quite a small amount of calories, depending on what your weight. If you put on a pound and a half or a pound, it's going to give you a few more calories to play with. So the danger is, of course, you want it as soon as you can, but if you're going, say, £2 a week, it's not taking into account any exercise you're going to do, and it's going to give you a very small amount of calories, and that's going to probably leave you to feeling very restrictive, a bit frustrated, and that can often lead to a binge. So I would probably look at one maximum of £1.5 a week. If you do that and you track really well, incorporate some exercise, there's no reasons why you wouldn't lose £2 a week. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily go £2 just overall without exercise, because you're not going to get a lot of calories and you're probably not going to enjoy the process. And everything you do should be looking ahead for the bigger picture, something that's sustainable. And then lastly, if you're not making progress on MyFitnessPal, there's a few things that obviously I've talked about today you could be missing. And this is another one that can happen. So just to wrap up, and I've seen this so often, Monday to, let's say, Friday, a client is really good, 1,500 calories a day. So maybe they're in a calorie deficit of 500 calories Monday to Friday. So they've saved up some calories. So they should lose weight. But then the weekend comes around and they've gone 500 calories less Monday to Friday. So they've got 2,500 calories to play with in a good deficit, right? But then it's the weekend. And what happens? I don't know, cook breakfast, booze, kebab, cook breakfast the next morning, pizza because we're hungover. And then suddenly all those calories that we've got have literally just disappeared because we've eaten 3,500 on a Saturday and 3,500 on a Sunday. And all that good work we've done Monday to Friday has just disappeared. So it's very important that we're very conscious of what happens at the weekends. I see it all the time and it's incredibly frustrating. So that is one thing to definitely keep in mind, okay? Hopefully you've got a lot of value from that today. I am a true believer in MyFitnessPal. If you do it right, it can be a game changer, to be honest. I know it sounds like there's quite a lot to cover and there is lots of mistakes that can be made, but it is actually a lot more simple once you get used to it and you start tracking really accurately and you just practice. All right, guys, hopefully, like I said, you've got some value from that. If you've got any other questions or you need any other help, reach out and I'll be happy to help you. Speak soon. Cheers.